Good evening, everybody. This is Score Cleveland, and tonight you're going to learn about YouTube videos from a Google expert, Lindsay Sim McGee, and she'll be with us momentarily. But first, a few words from our sponsor, which is Score. I'm going to share my screen, uh, and you will see just a couple of things to learn about Score, and then we will be on our way. Okay, SCORE is the sponsoring organization for tonight's presentation. We partner with Lindsay because she is a world-class expert on the things that she talks about, and we're looking forward to her presentation. SCORE is the largest network of free volunteer small business mentors in the nation. No matter what stage your business, SCORE has a mentor for you. You can easily request a mentor to help you start, grow, or transition your business today. SCORE's mission is to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education. We aim to give every person the support they need to thrive as small business owners. Small business drives our national economy through business formation, job creation, and wealth building. Small businesses are critical to vibrant communities in our society. There are over 10,000 volunteers working for SCORE, which is now 60 years old. And we serve clients in over 1,500 communities. Here in the greater Cleveland area, we serve the most of the front northeast front of Ohio, from Sandusky on the west to Youngstown on the east and to Mansfield on the south, and all the counties in between. Our clients are our priority. SCORE has a code of ethics that all volunteers must agree to and sign annually. SCORE members are not permitted to make money in any way from SCORE clients. Volunteers may not use our client or member database for commercial reasons, and all client information is confidential and protected by the U.S. government through the Small Business Administration. This is the SCORE website, and when you go to the SCORE website, you can click on it and request a mentor if you would like help with your business. SCORE provides education and advice to small business. It is free, it is always free, and always will be free. The SBA is a sponsor of SCORE. They provide us some funding to us, and we are able to deliver all of our mentoring services at no charge because our work is supported by the SBA and also a few generous sponsors, and thanks to our network of 10,000 volunteers. Now, if you would like to bookmark the score.org website, and if you're not using your phone to watch this and you have your phone handy, I'd like to give you a minute to fire up your camera, take a picture of this QR code, and capture the website for score.org. And if you are using your phone, it's a real easy address to remember. It's www.score.org. I just leave that up there for a few seconds so you can get to it. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to turn it over to Lindsay. Lindsay, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And hey, everyone, it's nice to have you all here today. I am a big fan of using the chat. So please go ahead and use the chat. Tell me a little bit about yourselves. Tell me about your business. Tell me what you're up to, where you are, because I know that there's some of you who are going to be from somewhere other than Northeast Ohio, probably a good number of you, matter of fact. So go ahead, tell me who you are, where you're from, and all that jazz. I have up on the screen next to me the chat, and I have the chat for people who are watching live on YouTube. So if you are either of those audiences, go ahead, say hi, let me know where your business is. And if you're interested in this whole thing because you're like maybe thinking you want to do YouTube as a business or like use YouTube to like be a stream of income, let me know as well. So we got people here from Toledo, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indiana, Dyer, Indiana, Dayton, New Jersey, Columbus. So awesome. Okay, so yeah, tell me who you are, where you're from. Love to see it. Falmouth, yeah, Falmouth, Kentucky. Okay, yeah, we're here, Bowling Green. And I know a few of you are actually here. I've like recognized a couple of the names. You've been here before, hanging out with me, so you know how I like to roll. William Bailey, and I have been hanging out in the internet for a few sessions. So if you're one of those people who've been here before, then you know how this works. I am going to definitely call your names and talk about your businesses. So it's easier. Oh my goodness, there's someone here from Thailand. It's so much easier for me if you all tell me a little bit about your businesses too. So, and tell me what you're looking to get out of the workshop because I really, really want to talk about you and talk about how you can use YouTube to grow your business. Like if you want to start your business with YouTube or use YouTube to grow your business, that's what we're here for. And again, any of you who have been here before know that I'm a big, big fan of show and tell. And so, oh, I love that. Want to use YouTube as a side business. I love that. So if you've been here before and you are like interested in like having me talk about you or use your website or use your business as a demo, just let us know because I'm here for that. Okay. 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 So keep it coming in the chat. We got a real estate humans in here. And again, those of you who do know, who've been here before, my husband is a real estate agent. And I always love using real estate examples because I'm quite familiar with that business because he's been doing it for a few years now, like three maybe. And that's pretty cool. So I'm Lindsay. Hi, it's nice to meet you. I am the Grow with Google coach for Ohio, but I am currently, wherever you are, your personal Grow with Google coach. And I'm here to help you if you have any questions, concerns, comments, things of that nature. You can always email me at lindsaysims@google.com. Or I always say the best way to reach me, and this is honestly the truth. I don't check that email very often. So I don't check any email very often. That's like the for real truth. If you want to reach me on LinkedIn. I'm like on LinkedIn, find me. That's pretty much my profile picture. I am happy to like hang out with you, ask questions, answer questions, things like that on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is the place to find me. That's my internet home. Now, why are we even talking about YouTube? YouTube is an amazing platform, and a bunch of you are saying that you want to use it to grow another income stream. You want to use it as a primary income stream. You want to use it to promote a business, okay, oh yeah, if you're working with brides and things like that, you want to be able to promote the business that way. And so, of course, YouTube is really, really good if you have a visual business. Now, the YouTube stats, like these YouTube stats, oddly enough, aren't even like up to date. YouTube is crazy. It's growing all the time. People are converting more and more to watching YouTube as TV. So I want you to in the chat, there's like 80 people here right now. Nope, sorry, there's almost 100 people here right now. So 100 people here. I would love for you to put a one in the chat if you watch YouTube as TV, meaning if you watch YouTube to entertain yourself like you would have when you were watching. Okay, there's a bunch. Okay. There's a bunch of ones in the chat. You guys understand. Okay, YouTube is fantastic, and people are doing that now more and more. There are entire YouTubers who they can't wait for whatever the day of the week is for them to drop a video or even if you're in the middle of a project like me, I'm always in the middle of somebody's project, right? I'm either at the beginning, the middle, or the end of a project. And when I'm in project mode, which is all the time, oh goodness gracious. Okay, there we go. My computer decided to glitch on me for a second, which is all the time because I'm like always in the internet. I am like always watching YouTube videos in binge mode, like all of the things, watching all the videos about currently I'm trying to figure out how to put a patio in my yard without without digging. Like that's how do you put a patio in without digging? So I'm watching all these no dig deck videos. We are those people, right? And so what we want to notice is that people are watching videos for entertainment. They're also watching videos for education. They're looking to discover new information. And there's people in over 100 countries and over 80 languages who are watching content all the time. So again, if you are here because you're like interested in being one of the people that people are watching, we'll talk about that because as it stands, the kind of rules for how to do YouTube work for everyone. They really do. It's not really that different if you're doing it for your business as if you were doing it for a business. The big difference is how you approach it. Now, because we are here talking about business, so one thing I do want to encourage everyone in here, because there's a lot of education in businesses, you got photographers in here, we have people who are doing chefing type businesses, all of these types of businesses here. I want you all to acknowledge one thing. When it comes to YouTube, this should not be a play to become an influencer. And what I mean there is like an influencer is someone who is selling other people's products for the purposes of making money off of those products, right? Like that is what an influencer is. That is what they do. A person who is like gaining audience, like they're capturing audience for them for themselves, but the point of them capturing that audience is to sell the audience stuff that other people make. As a business owner, you're not doing that. And so the way you approach, yes, Eduardo, it's day trading attention. So we are not doing that. We are not gaining attention in order to sell it to someone else. That is exactly what we want to do. We don't want to do that at all. We want to gain attention in order to leverage it for ourselves. And when you're doing that, you're going to approach it a little bit different. If you're doing it in order to like be an influencer, the play and the things that you do and the stuff that you would do is going to be a little bit different than the stuff that you would do. And when I say a little bit, I mean honestly, it's actually quite different than the stuff that you would do if you were actually trying to gain an audience in order to get people to know, like, and trust you so that you can sell them your thing. Like you can have them buy into what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. So this is good. You all get it. It seems like in the chat you all understand. So we're going to talk about everything from the very bottom floor of this whole thing all the way to the like kind of top level, because often you all have questions about, okay, I want to, grow my channel, I want to become an influencer and all that stuff, but a lot of us are not even, we don't really even have a YouTube channel yet. Like we don't have the channel structure and we maybe don't have the channel set up right and things like that. So we're going to talk about that. Yes, we are actually, and we are going to talk about animations. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff because there are so many different ways to do YouTube, and I don't want everyone to feel like, well, in order to do YouTube, I have to have my face on camera. That is not true. You do not have to be on camera in order to do YouTube. You don't even have to have your own YouTube channel in order to do YouTube. And I'm gonna, like, when I say that, that might sound like completely weird. Like, what do you even mean? And I'm gonna talk about that. So I'm gonna give y'all some real life examples of people who are doing what we want to do very effectively. Okay. Yes, Cynthia, this video is being recorded and they're gonna send out a link afterwards. Score is, but it is also up on YouTube. And so if you, I think like a day from now or two, the edited version of this video will be up live on YouTube. And there's also the live version that's up right now. So there we go. You got access. You keep going. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to log into YouTube. Now, when I say you're going to log into YouTube, this is the first barrier to entry that people run into head first, and then they contact me and say, oh, well, YouTube stole my channel, or I've been working on this channel and then YouTube deleted it and all this other stuff. And I'm like, YouTube does not steal your channel. YouTube doesn't delete your channel. There have been occurrences of people's channels being hacked. That's a different thing. But the reality is most people actually just forget which email address they're using to create their channel. So I'm going to head over to YouTube because I am a huge fan of show and tell. I want y'all to see how this stuff works live, right? So over here at the top bar, there's that little obscure picture of my face. And what I want you to do, if you're going to start a YouTube channel, before you do anything, I want you to note who you are logged in as. Which email address are you logged in as? And if you click on that switch account, it will show you the email addresses and the channels under those email addresses. And the reason why this is important is because you may have multiple channels under different email addresses. You can have many channels under one email address. YouTube does not throttle how many YouTube channels you can have. I mean, technically they do, but it's a lot. Like the number is high. And so the likelihood that you're going to run out of email addresses is it's very unlikely. That being said, or run out of channels, like you can create a bunch of channels. That being said, this is where you would find out whether you are the manager of a channel, whether you have a channel, how many subscribers there are on the channel, all that stuff is right here in that area. Now, just so that we can see where I went again, I went over to the very top right corner of the screen and I clicked on my face. And that's where I was able to see that I was logged in. If you are not logged in, then you won't see any of this. Like you won't see, I can't log out because my presentation's in a Google Doc. So if I log out, then it'll log me out of everything. But if I wasn't logged in, I would just have the ability to log in. It would have a little faceless thing here and a little colorful dot, and then I would have the ability to log in. The most important thing when you're starting your YouTube channel is to know which email address you're using. And my big yes, Kristen. Okay, thank you. That's a great question. And then Layla's like, yes, that happened to me. So my big caveat here, don't use an email address for a business you work for. So if you currently work at a nonprofit organization and you're thinking, okay, well, I'm not actually the owner of this business, but I'm the marketer for the nonprofit and they want to start a YouTube channel. So I'm going to start the YouTube channel with my email address from the nonprofit organization because, well, that makes sense. Like your brain would say that's a completely logical thing to do. The problem there is that when you do start the YouTube channel with that information, unfortunately, if you leave the organization and that email address goes away, like that email address stops existing, then you can no longer log into that channel and neither can anyone else. So you don't want to start it with an email address that actually is tied to another organization, even if you're starting it for a business. So even if you're starting it for your business, like it doesn't matter what business it is, I would honestly just use a Gmail account. Like just use a Gmail. Like you'll see, you saw there, if you were able to look closely, almost all of mine are underneath my own like Gmail account because it makes it easier. I know where the email are, where they are. And on top of that, I actually pay for YouTube Premium because I hate commercials. I hate commercials, y'all. And so because I hate commercials, I pay for YouTube Premium and I pay for it under my personal account. I don't pay for it under my business account. And because of that, then I'm always using my personal account for anything related to YouTube, including stuff related to my business. Now, to answer the other question, the question that you didn't ask, Kristen, can you change your email address? The answer is kind of no, but you can add yourself via your administration panel. So when you're in your YouTube channel, you can add other people. And one of those other people you can add is yourself. And if you're working for another organization, you can add another person from that organization. You can add a bunch of other emails so that those people then have administrative access to your channel. And then when I say you can add yourself, I have personally added myself to my own YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel for my business actually has both my personal email address and my business email address have admin access so that just in case I lose access to one of those email addresses, the other one has access to the YouTube channel. I hope that makes sense. So you can good, you guys figured it out. Like y'all are asking questions and you're like, wait, I figured it out. So that's the idea, right? You're going to make sure you have the right email address and that you always have access by adding another email address, your own other email address to make your life easier. Okay, great, great. So first thing you're going to do is sign in. If you have never had a YouTube channel before, this is what you're going to see. Create a channel. If you've had a YouTube channel before, you are not going to see that create a channel. So I'm going to go back over here and click on that button again. And right here, I do not have that create a channel option because technically there is a channel already. It just says view your channel. And then when I hit switch account, I can view all of my channels. I view any channel that I have, but I cannot create a channel. It doesn't give me that option because I already have a channel. So how do you get to your channel? How do you get to the channel that, like, how do you get to the point where you can add a channel? You have to go to your Google account. So I'm going to click on this. And I hope like this place that I'm trying to send y'all moves all the time, but I'm pretty sure it's, of course, I'm pretty sure it's right here, but of course it's not here. Like whenever you click on the my account, I'm going to have to do the channel switcher thing. So the real answer is channel switcher, YouTube. Now be careful because there is a thing called a channel switcher link. You don't want to click there. That's someone who was smart and realized that YouTube, like the channel switcher name was how everyone can switch their channel. So in order to find it, you're going to go to the Google Help, switch between channels on YouTube, and in here, you're going to use the branded account link, manage YouTube channels. And there is a link. It's usually down at the bottom. Switch between channels you manage. Um, is it going to be here? Is it going to be here? Is it? Nope. I was going to say, is it going to be here? I'm going to find this link for you because it always drives me crazy that it like disappears. Permissions. I don't want permissions, but I think the permissions is probably the best place to go because when you don't have permissions if you don't have the channel. I'm gonna find the link, y'all. You know I'm here for you. I'm not here for me. So I'm gonna click around until I find the link because you do want to go to the branded channels link, and it is a very specific place, and it does look. They're showing you all the things that it does, but they used to have a direct link that was in the very top of the account. It's gonna drive me nuts. Check on. There it is. Okay. I knew I could find the link. I'm going to drop this in here and I'm going to save this for myself. So if you could go ahead and drop that in, I'm dropping it into the host panel so that everybody can see it. It is literally myaccount.google.com/brand accounts. Whatever email address you're logged into, you will have the ability to see brand accounts here. And then if you arrow back to the dashboard, usually you'll have the ability. See, this is why I was like, it shows you all the things. You can actually create a YouTube channel within your dashboard. So it's a very complicated system, but if you already have a channel, the easiest way to do it is to create a channel that way because it like literally has a button that says create a channel. It's kind of complicated if you already have a channel. If you don't already have a channel, this is not complicated at all. So hopefully you guys will be able to get that link in a minute. But that is the best way to do it is just to like go to the thing and add a channel. Or you can Google, as you can always do, Google create a channel, create a YouTube channel, and that'll send you directly to a YouTube channel link. So once you have done this, once you've created a channel, then what you would need to do is start customizing it. Before you upload a video, you do not need to upload a video first. You can upload a video way later. So if you want to follow along, if y'all want to follow along right now while we're doing this, I would love it. And if you have a channel right now, a bunch of you are dropping your channel links. I love that. Please, I'm a big fan of self-promotion. Go with God. So what I want you to do though is think about when you're in this process of creating your customizations, how do I want my channel to appear to my users, to the people who are looking for my thing? And that's what the customization is going to allow you to do. YouTube is one of the only social platforms that basically lets you customize every single aspect of your appearance, and it lets you update it however often you want. So there are other platforms that make it difficult, and by other platforms, you all know which ones I mean, that make it extremely difficult for you to do just about anything. If you want to change your profile photo, that might be easy, but changing anything else about your photo requires you log into 4 different areas and do all of these magic tricks and Google 8 million things in order to change stuff. But YouTube has made it really easy. It's all inside of customization inside of the YouTube studio. So I went ahead and jumped into the YouTube studio in advance. And this here is it's not a real channel. There's like a subscriber, but I don't have any videos on this channel. But this is my YouTube channel for my personal email address if I was to have a channel. The easiest way to get in is to hit that little customization button down here at the bottom. When you hit the customization button, it gives you the option to customize everything. You can add a banner image, you can add a profile picture, you can add the name, you can add an @handle, you can add your pronouns, you can add a channel description, you can add the languages that you speak and do your channel in. In here will be your channel URL, which is the unchangeable URL. And then over here is your custom channel handle. So you can then say for you, mine is Lindsay Sims because that's my name. But whatever the name of your channel is, you can actually change that. So we have ASL teaching resources. So a lot of you have yours in there. So that would be your custom URL, and you can copy that and send it to anyone. And when they click on it, they will then go to your YouTube channel. It's great. And then you can also add in links. So you can see this stuff is old because this is like this business name I haven't used literally for 15 years. And so, so this is like where you can add in the links to your business. You can add in your contact info. all of that stuff in this customization panel. But in addition to that, in case you didn't know, you can also customize your home tab and how people see your information. You can add sections, you can add a for you area, you can add a channel trailer. There's all channel highlights is what they call it. You can add all the things. You can add in the short videos, you can add in playlist. If you have a podcast, you can add in podcasts. You can add all of those things right here into your custom home tab. So if you've ever gone to someone's YouTube channel and it looked like extra fancy and you were like, how on earth did that person make their channel look like that? Well, that's how they made their channel look like that. They used the profile customization and the home tab customization because you can customize everything on YouTube. Like I said, basically anything at all that shows up on your channel, you can customize. So let's use a couple of examples. I'm going to go to Exo McKenna. She's one of my favorite YouTubers right now. I love a bunch of YouTubers. Now, this is fun because Exo McKenna might feel like an influencer, except for that she's actually a business owner. She has a candle business, and her candle business is what she like uses her YouTube channel to promote her candle business. And there's a lot of people who do that on YouTube where they have a YouTube channel, and she's such a great example because her YouTube channel is about home decor and renovation and all the pretty things about home, but she also has this one, she actually has like a kind of a home decor thrift line that she puts out like once a quarter. She collects a bunch of things when she's out thrifting with her mom. They do thrifting and antique shopping and all that, and she collects a bunch of things and then she puts them out online. Like she sells them through some platform. I can't think of the name of it. So she is a business person. Like she's a straight up businesswoman, but she is also a YouTuber in that the main way that she gets people to know about her products and know about her services is actually through YouTube. And when you look at her channel, it is all very, very well organized. Remember that description area? She's got her description there. She's got her section for business inquiries because occasionally people do sponsor her because she has a lot of followers now. So she does do the influencer thing, but she also has her own products. Like I said, that she has, like she's always been selling stuff since she started this channel, like was not just a vanity project. And not that being an influencer is about vanity. That's not what I'm saying. But it was a project that she started on purpose. So she has her Instagram, her TikTok, her Pinterest, her vlog channel, because she actually has a vlog channel, which she does with her husband and her kid. And then she has a podcast as well that's all about women building things with their own hands because she's done a lot of actual physical building projects. Like she basically built her second home. Like actually technically it was her first home. It's her second home now because they bought a house while she was working on that one. They bought a house to live in. That was already done. And so now she's got two houses. And so this is all of her information, all of her links, all of this stuff about her YouTube channel and all that jazz. It's all there. And 80% of this information she put in there. So she customized this and you can customize it too. The videos, the way this shows up on her channel, where there's the home videos with the main video being the last video that she published 3 days ago, and then her kitchen renovations playlist, her French Provençal living room, renovating their 110-year-old cottage, which is the big project that she did, her vlog channel. So remember a few minutes ago when I said you don't technically have to have a YouTube channel in order for you to have a YouTube channel. There are ways for you to take content that you are mentioned in, that your products are featured in, that you can actually use that as stuff on your own YouTube channel. So even if you are, maybe you have a product or a service that you're offering that other people do videos about, then you can put their videos on your YouTube channel as well. So YouTube is not just a place for you to have your own videos that you create, but it's also a place for you to catalog videos that you're in or that are featuring your products that other people are creating. So it is just a matter of how you want to organize and customize your channel. Okay, so I am trying to make sure that I'm getting all your questions. So she does, yes, Jeff, she does do her own videos. She is actually on camera, her face all the time with her, like her renovation projects and things like that. She doesn't even have an editor. She is a YouTuber who's been doing it herself for a long time. And so she edits her own videos. And she's like a one person team who does this. I mean, I want to say does this for a living, but she has multiple businesses that are attached to the channel. So she does her business for a living, and her business includes her YouTube channel. So remember earlier when I was like the customizations and layouts and things like that, That is something that we all need to focus on because I showed you Exo McKenna, but there are a bunch of other people. I always spell her name wrong. So I'm gonna, yeah, Maya Elias. Maya Elias is another example of someone who has a fantastically organized YouTube channel and is very much a business person. Her YouTube channel she's got significantly fewer followers. She's only got 4,700 followers. But if you go over to her Instagram, she has like hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. So this might be one of those things where a lot of people get confused and they're like, well, is she an influencer? Is she a business person? None of this matters. You're using your YouTube channel for the purposes of selling stuff for your business. And that is exactly what she's doing. So she is not deterred by the fact that she doesn't have a million subscribers on YouTube. They're not equivalent. They're not doing the same job. And matter of fact, the majority of people who watch your YouTube videos will not be subscribers. The vast majority. It doesn't matter how big you get as a YouTuber. The majority of people watching your videos will not be subscribers. And so you want to make sure you don't get caught up on metrics like that. It's not about your subscribers, it's about your viewers. So what are your viewers doing? What do you want from your channel? And how can you make your channel about you and your business, right? So for her, she has same thing, her very long description about herself. She is a Christian lady who likes to twerk, as you saw her put up there. But she has her links. She has very well designed links with different logos to her business. She has a podcast, she has a website, she has her coaching that you can do with her, like all of those things. She has an email address, but as you can see, it's less information than the other girl that McKenna had. And then on her channel, she has a For You section first. So instead of her having the most recent video be the first thing you see, which is what Exo McKenna does, she actually lets YouTube determine for her what you should see. So this is the magical For You area. And I'm actually going to show you this. This little thing here for you is YouTube is recommending fresh content based on the user's interests, which means that they are going to say, based on what Lindsay was just watching, this is the video that she's most likely to want to watch next, whether it was your most recent video or a video from 9 months ago or a video from 4 years ago. This is the one she's most wanting to watch next. And they serve up every person a different piece of content. So if every one of us went to Maya Elias's YouTube channel right now, we might get a different set of videos served up to us. It's amazing. And that is something that I'm like, I want y'all to understand. YouTube is here to work for you. It is here to build your business. And this woman's business is not YouTube. Her business is that she's a business coach. So she actually helps people who are trying to grow their businesses, who are trying to make an impact on the world and things like that. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can organize all of your things. Oh, I love that, Kristen. Y'all are in here having a whole conversation that I cannot repeat on camera. So I love the chat. I love the chat. I love that y'all are doing that. So like I said, I want you to customize, customize, customize. But I also don't want you to feel like, oh, I'm going to make a mistake. There's basically no such thing as a mistake when it comes to your YouTube branding because you can change it. You can change it whenever you want. You can change it seasonally. You can change it up for the holidays. It's not the holidays, but if I was on Exo McKenna's channel during the holidays, she actually changes out. She changes out her stuff seasonally because she's kind of a pretty person. Like her thing, her like core value is beautiful. And so she wants everything to be pretty. So her YouTube channel actually changes its appearance based on the season. And so you could totally do that. Like it's not like Instagram where you're stuck with whatever Instagram wants to do. That's what you have to put up with. No, with YouTube, you actually have the ability to kind of change things up and make things look how you want them to look. You can change your logo. There's lots of people who add wreaths around their profile picture at the holidays, things like that. You can change it for different months that are appropriate to you and your background. All of those things are up to you, and you can change them as often as you want. So this is where all that information lives. The one thing I would encourage everyone not to change is your literal like channel URL, your channel name, right? Don't do that. Don't change that. It like change that very rarely because it becomes how people know to find your channel. And so you don't want to change up the little URL. Hers is at Maya Elias. The Exo McKenna was at Exo McKenna. You don't want to change that because that's kind of how people find you. And that's also how YouTube knows that someone's looking for you. So make sure that you are like keeping that the same because it's kind of useful to your audience. Then you can, like I said, customize, customize, customize. This guy is a great example. I found him organically because, as I mentioned, I'm a project person. Like, I love doing projects. And so, DIY Creators is another great example of someone who, if we go to his YouTube channel right now, even though he is featured in this presentation, that little logo there, 3.1 million. Let's go to his channel. And he has a different channel set up, a different video in here. And this is the reason why I like three different people with three different setups, three different versions of reality. He has his name across his profile image. So he's got his picture in there, but he's got the DIY creators. He's got the concrete slab video in there. He's got all of these different things. I'm not subscribed to his channel, but I have watched some of his content. Every single one of us, y'all, we get to make our channel look how we want. He has the main trailer channel trailer. Then he's got the For You section. Then he has the latest videos, and then he has the DIY build for furniture. He's got all of these different playlists that you can fall down the rabbit hole on. The homemade shop tools, all of these different things. He's got all of this different organization, and each and every one of us can do this. This is up to you. Now, the thing I will encourage all of you to do is customize. So yes, thank you. Definitely going to post more videos and customize. Customization is your friend because what your audience wants, I'm trying to get in here so I can see all of your comments. What your audience actually wants is to dig into the rabbit hole of you. Right. So once they find, like once I found DIY creators and I was actually looking at his video because what did I say? I want to try to find a way to create a patio in my backyard. We have an acre. It's both a fortunate and unfortunate thing because it's an acre of mostly grass. And so I'm like, how do I eat up some of this space? So we don't have so much just grass everywhere. We can't do anything. It's very natural out there. So like you put a blanket down and you will be swarmed by bees and like ants and stuff. So I'm like, I need to have like a pad down so that we can actually put furniture out there and sit off the ground, right? And like maybe put up a screen or something. Like I want to actually make something happen back there. And but I don't want to dig. I don't want to dig. I don't want to dig. And so his channel actually had a video about how to do like DIY concrete slabs and things like that. And that is why I started watching his channel. And then I was like, oh my goodness, he has so much other information. He's got pictures and videos about how to make it pretty and things like that. So now I'm going down the rabbit hole with this guy. And that's what you want your audience to do. You want them to really go down the rabbit hole. So Emery is asking if we have different examples for products or services that are more faceless. I always have examples. When I say I watch YouTube because I watch YouTube because YouTube is fun. And so I watch all different types of YouTube channels. You try to think of one. There's so many faceless ones. Let me go to this one is a faceless monetized channel. And oh, and there's another one. I'm gonna go to a different one that's a product service business. So Polyphonic is a faceless YouTube channel with 1.1 million subscribers. And the reason why I love this channel is because they do mini documentaries. And you might be like, mini, this one's 3 hours long. But they do they do documentaries about topics that usually their videos are about 30 minutes long. And so if you are interested in that kind of information, it's great because you got 30 minutes, you can watch this documentary and learn about the untold history of disco. And of course, because YouTube knows me, that's the video they served up because I happen to be a disco loving 80s baby. And so because of that, they're like, Lindsay will want to watch this disco video, but they're a great channel for that sort of thing. But then to go in the all the way other direction, Tailwind app. So there is an app called Tailwind. And one of my favorite things, so remember I mentioned before how you can have a YouTube channel that basically isn't even yours, is that Tailwind When I search Tailwind, the first thing that comes up is other people's content. All these other people's content from a month ago, from 4 years ago, from 5 years ago, from 6 months ago, from 5 months ago. Tailwind, because Tailwind happens to be one of those channels. I actually think they do have a channel, but I'm not getting my channel option up here. Usually there's an option that says channel, and I'm not getting the channel option, but usually there is an option. Let's see if I can force it to give me the option for a channel. Yeah, it's giving me all the options, but it's not giving me the option for a channel. And so Tailwind is one of those YouTube channels that mostly doesn't post their own content. They post other people's content about them because other people have created content about them. And so there are lots of brands like that where it's not about them, their product or service is actually being featured in a completely different way. And now let me give you another example. YNAB, you need a budget. It is another app, and I love this channel because the YNAB channel actually mostly doesn't do, no one on this channel, all these people that you see, these faces that you see are not people at YNAB. They are people who YNAB has hired to do content for them. So YNAB actually hires people to do a video series that's 10 videos long about a topic. They hire people to do different types of videos. So this lady does the talking head videos. This guy actually does like animation style videos. So you see his face in the thumbnail because everybody likes faces, and that's the reason why, it's very difficult. Faceless channels are not like the norm. They are completely possible. But YNAB has a combination of faces and faceless because they know that their audience likes all the different types of things. And so there are definitely ways to make that happen where you're not having your face on camera, you're having other people's faces on camera. And so I really want you all to be encouraged that there's plenty of these things that happen. And then there's all of the channels where we're going to talk about this in a minute, where you're not the focus, the thing you're pointing the camera at is. So even if you're like, well, what if I want to create the videos, but I don't want to be in them? We'll talk about that. There are lots and lots of options. So Nicole is asking, how do we monetize? The monetization rules for YouTube, as of the last time I read them, which was a little bit ago, was that you need to have 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. That's your floor. Once you get four, and it's a combination, you have to have both. 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, and then you can get monetized. There's a separate monetization for shorts. So if you want to get monetized for shorts, I do not know what those requirements are, but you can Google that. And the monetization for shorts is more in competition with the monetization for what is it called? Facebook. So the monetization for Facebook, not even monetization for Instagram. So if you want to be monetized for shorts, it's more in competition with monetizing for Facebook or even for TikTok. Those are more in line with what the monetization looks like. Layla, you can prevent ads on your videos. You just have to turn off. There's a setting you can do that says I don't want ads to appear on my videos, and that just means that your channel will never be monetized. No matter how many video views people do, your videos will never be monetized. You can have 1 million views and 1 million watch hours, and you will never make a dollar because the way that you get paid is by people showing ads on your video. So if you don't want that, you can, and there are definitely people who turn off ads because, like I said, we're doing it for our business. So like Marie Forleo is kind of famous for that. She turns off her ads on her channel. So if you're watching a Marie Forleo video, you might get an ad like after her video, but it's a pre-roll for the next video. It's not attached to her video technically. And because she has turned off ads, she does not allow ads to play during her videos. And so there are definitely ways to do that. So I have just talked about all of these different things about customizing and stuff like that. But now let's think about video differently. And I've even been talking about how to think about it differently. But I want us to think phone first, right? Phone first. Because often when we're thinking about creating YouTube or we're doing YouTube videos, we're thinking about needing a fancy camera and needing extra equipment, spending $2,000 or $3,000, or depending on how fancy you want to get, $10,000 or $15,000 on a camera. And I don't want us to think like that. Very fortunately, the camera that you have in your pocket is better than the camera that was used to produce your favorite childhood TV show. Like, it's literally, that is an accurate statement. Like, the camera that you have in your pocket is better than the camera that was used to shoot the Cosby Show. Like, there is nothing wrong with your camera. So if you are feeling like, well, I can't use my camera because Yes, you can. There's no reason why you can't use your camera that was in your pocket. Buy a tripod. The tripods on you, like you can buy a tripod on Amazon for $20. You can pick up a tripod at Target, Walmart, Best Buy, any of these places for under $60 today. You could have a tripod delivered to your house before I'm done talking by DoorDash. There is no reason not to have a tripod. And the reason why you want a tripod is so that you can tell a really good story without your camera being shaky. Because no matter how good you are and how steady you are, yeah, there's a reason why professionals use tripods. So get a tripod and then move on, right? Like that is it. Figure out what your story is. Now, when we say what is your story, let's go back to Exo McKenna. So when I said she sells candles and she sells products that she picks up, like she will find 4 or 5 different frames that she absolutely loves and knows that she's not going to use all of these frames to frame things in her house. So she will keep the one that she loves and sell the other 3 in that marketplace that I'm talking about. So, what's the story? For her, the story is about beauty and aesthetics and making things look good, and also not having everything be brand new out of the box from Walmart, Target, Amazon. Like she does order things off the internet, that's not saying that, but she loves to have the majority of her place look like it's lived in. Even if it's brand new, she wants to have it lived in. That's the story. So when she created her products, her product line for her candles, she actually made her candle vases, her packaging, everything looks like it's vintage. It's like the vintage aesthetic. What is the story that you're telling? What is the purpose of the video? And then who or what is the star of the video? If you all take nothing from this, these 3 questions should be answered for every single video you create. Because if you answer these questions, it will help you figure out what the answers to all the other questions are. Answer these questions, planning your videos, figuring out what you want to do in advance will save you a ton of heartache. It'll save you a ton of editing. It will save you wasted videos that you create that you don't put out, which I am certain some of you have experienced. I know I have, where I've shot an entire 15 or 20 videos, but I didn't answer all of these questions. So when it came time to actually put the videos out there, I didn't feel confident. I didn't love the concept. I didn't love what I was doing because I hadn't answered the questions. So answer these questions. And then when you're trying to think about what kind of story you want to tell, there's a few different types of stories that we can tell. There's our business story. And for those of you who are like, I don't know if anyone is interested in my business story, plenty of people are interested in your business story. They want to know who you are, what you do, and why you do it. And those 3 stories can be told a million different ways. So if you're thinking, well, that's 3 videos, Lindsay, I need more than 3 videos. The reality is that you can actually do those 3 videos multiple times in 3 or 4 or 5 different ways. So I'm going to use one of y'all as an example. I said I love using all examples. I'm going to use Kristen, who has a very interesting story. She's a Christian sex ed teacher. That's fantastic. I don't even know what her business is. I actually did see what it was earlier. But as a Christian sex ed teacher, there are a lot of stories in there. There's a lot of questions. So I want everyone to think when you put the name, the title, the description of what you do out there in the world, Christian sex ed teacher, then what questions do people automatically have in their brain about you? And then those are the videos you're going to do. You're going to do a video to answer not all of those questions at once, but you're going to do a video that answers each one of those questions in a single video. So you're going to answer the journey to becoming a Christian. And if you're like, but Lindsay, I've been a Christian my whole life. Well, that's not normal. So talk about it, right? So you're going to do the video about every single thing, right? You're going to talk about being a Christian. You're going to talk about how you became a sex ed educator. You're going to talk about why being a Christian sex ed educator is interesting to people, like why that dichotomy doesn't feel like it fits, but it's a perfect fit. What is the educational thing? What does that mean? What does it mean to do sex ed, period, without the Christian part? You're going to talk about all of the different aspects in different videos because people want to know who you are, why you do what you do, and then why you do it. That's your business story. And every single one of us has business stories. It doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you sell, you have a business story. One of my favorite ways to tell stories, for those of you who are like, well, how do you do faceless videos? Let's go back to polyphonic, because polyphonic actually does the one of the best ways of doing faceless videos is how polyphonic does it. They do it documentary style. So I'm pretty sure I have everything on mute. Yes. So what they're doing here is a mixture of animations, background video. So this is just a static TV, old TV, and then it's got footage in front of it and footage behind it. There's some editing here, but there's no face. This is telling a story. I don't have captions on, and this video is already entertaining me. Like, that is the reason why we want to think outside the box. This is changing. The image in the middle is moving, and he is talking. Another static image in the background with an image in the corner. So you all just need to get creative when it comes to telling that story. Instead of thinking, I have to tell a story a specific way, no, you can tell stories a lot of different ways. You can tell stories in that documentary style, which is like you can either hire that out if you don't want to do it yourself, but just imagine if you watched some of his videos without looking without the audio, without getting caught into the story, you would see how easy it is to edit a video like that using Canva. A tool like Canva can create that video that we just saw. It's that simple. So don't get caught up on how do I do it. It's think about what the story is you want to tell and then think of different ways to creatively tell that same story, okay? Now, product service videos. Products and services, again, how does it work and how does it solve someone's problem? You want to think, I like thinking about the curiosity gap. What is it that someone doesn't know? And then how do I create content that kind of bridges that gap? Now, one of the big things that a lot of y'all don't do that I think would be really useful is if you thought about what people are choosing when they're not choosing you. So if they're choosing, instead of doing, oh goodness, I'm not going to use sex ed. So I'm going to use a different example. Instead of, let me go, I'm trying to find one of your businesses. Plant to Enjoy Life. Is that one of your channels? So is that Layla? Okay, so Plant to Enjoy Life. So instead of like planting, doing plants, having plants, is Layla telling me what her business is, what her channel is, because I'm skipped to the bottom. Yes, it's a planting channel. So a planning channel. Okay, so then you can, oh goodness, Layla, that's great. So instead of planning, what are people doing? And people are doing 80 million things instead of planning. People are pretend planning, people are ideating, people are brainstorming, people are sitting their pantsing, people are using their calendar, and that's not truly planning. They're doing a bunch of things. And so you could create videos for all the things that people are doing that are not actually planning and talk about how planning can solve the problem. So the problem with using your Google Calendar as your planner is X. Right. And so, and oh, I love that, especially because you're decorative and functional. There are people who are like, but I don't need that. Well, actually, we both know that they kind of do. So, like, instead, why is it better to use a functional planner instead of using using your Google Calendar? Now, let's talk about another channel that does a really good job of mostly Rachel in Progress. I'm pretty sure is the name of her channel. Oh, goodness, of course it's not. It's not Rachel spelled like this. That's the reason why. It's Raerea. Of course, I can never spell Rachel right when I'm trying to. Reca. Maybe. It's something like that. Of course, it's not going to come up. But she is a YouTuber who, and I don't follow her channel, which is probably the reason why it's not showing up. I'm not subscribed. But she's a YouTuber who has a planning channel. And she uses 8 million planners. And she actually rarely ever shows her face. She does show her face occasionally now. But when she first started, she just did top-down videos. And then you can do promotional stories where you're actually trying to sell something. That should be the rarest form of stories that you're telling. And beyond that, making sure that the first 5 seconds, the first 15 seconds of whatever you're doing is compelling enough to get people to stay. That's your biggest thing. And then as business owners, if you're doing a video about why your Google Planner is failing you in getting actually getting things done, you're doing that video at the end. Thank you, Rachel in Theory. You knew who I was talking about. Rachel in Progress. Rachel in Theory is the name of the channel. But why is it better to use that over this? At the end of that video, what is the call to action that you have for people? What is it that you want them to do? Now, I said I was going to talk about the various different ways that you can do videos, and this is it. This is another one that you can take a screen grab of. There's so many different versions of reality. Most of the time, we think that you have to do the selfie version where you're pointing the camera at yourself. The reality is that you could do voiceovers, you could do top down, you could do point and shoot where you're shooting the camera at pointing the camera at someone else. You can do told with text. Text typography videos are huge on YouTube still. So if you're thinking no one does that anymore, that is not true. People still do that. Full out animation. And then one of my favorite ways is puppets. Y'all, people are having full out puppet channels now, and it is awesome. As someone who grew up idolizing Jim Henson, I grew up idolizing Jim Henson. This is great for me because I'm loving the puppet moment that we're in because puppets need to make a comeback, right? And so, like, there's so many different ways to get your ideas out there without you having to be on camera. And so, the ideas you should be thinking is, how do I do that? How do I do that? Muppets rule, Pam. Uh, Now, when you're first getting started, there's a few things you need to think about. The most important, go in reverse order of what this says. The most important thing is sound because if they cannot hear you, they will not watch your video. If they cannot hear you, they will not watch your video. So the audio is probably the most important thing. Again, there are a million different, like literally for your phone, there are attachments that you can put on your phone to put a real microphone attached to your phone. You can also do what I'm doing here. I am literally sitting in front of a webcam. This is not a special camera. And almost all the videos that I do, I'm shooting with a webcam and a microphone on my computer using a software like Zoom to record me. And so you don't have to make it fancy. And the idea that you need to have a visually clutter-free space is nonsense. That is not true. I have watched videos where people were sitting in a dirty bedroom with like a dog licking itself on the back behind them. And I watched just fine because I wasn't paying attention to that stuff. I was paying attention to the person who was talking. And so I want you to think, how do I make sure that it's not extra distracting, but don't make the background the most important thing? Don't make that be the thing. Well, I don't have the right setup, so I can't do a video. No, 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 no. And then as far as sounds and music and things like that, YouTube actually has an entire audio library. So if you go over to YouTube and you click on audio library, it is right here. It costs you nothing. It is completely free. The licensing availability is right here. So if you are using these on YouTube, you can do no attribute for these videos. It's got them by genre. You can do all sorts of stuff, y'all. It is fantastic. So making sure that you know what's available because there are tons and tons of options available to you. Now, when you're ready, there's a bunch of ways that you can get videos on your channel. The one thing I want you to think is that this little upload or go live, those are only a couple of the options. The reality is you can upload, go live, create a post, add a new playlist, add a new podcast. There's a bunch of things you can do. Because YouTube and YouTube Music are synced, they're synced, meaning that they are like essentially one and the same. You can actually start your podcast on your YouTube channel. It's amazing. It's fantastic. So if you've been thinking about starting a podcast as your method of growing, that is awesome. So how long do you take, how long does it take to create a video? Jay, my favorite way of creating videos is actually to just go live, and then however long the video is how long it is, and then I'm not editing it because then we have problems. As soon as I have to edit, then it's going to take me forever. And so instead, I try to figure out how can I do one take videos. And there's some really good YouTube channels out there that teach you how to do one take videos where you plan everything out in advance, like literally plan the entire thing out in advance so that you can sit down and record the video without any takes. One take video, upload, and that's it. Because otherwise, sometimes it does actually take a long time for people to get them out there. And the reality is, it doesn't matter how long your YouTube video is. I just showed you 4 or 5 different channels that all have different length videos. The DIY creators videos are like 15 minutes long. Polyphonic is an hour and a half, sometimes 3 hours long. McKenna's videos are up to an hour long, but mostly only 20 minutes. Like, it just depends, right? It's not about that. It really is about what story you're telling and what your audience wants to see. The title, description, and thumbnail are all within your control. And big super secret hint, you can change every one of them. So this is why I say, unlike other platforms, YouTube is changeable. Once you put that video out there, if you want to change the thumbnail, you can change the thumbnail. If you want to change the title, you can change the title. If you want to change the description, you can change the description. You can literally edit all of these aspects after you post the video. Genius, right? So what if you don't have enough followers to go? Oh, you don't need to have enough followers. You don't have to have any followers to go live. That little go live button was available for me, and I have one subscriber on this channel. So you can go live right now. You do not need any subscribers at all. As far as all the other aspects, the only thing your YouTube channel is going to require when you upload a video is the title and it'll create a thumbnail, and it doesn't even need a description. So if you don't know what the description is yet, if you still are editing or tweaking, this is an opportunity for you to just be brave and put it out there. You don't need subtitles, you don't need end cards, you don't need any of that stuff. You just need to make sure that your video isn't got any copyright strikes against it, because if it does, like if you're playing anything Disney related or something from the Beatles in the background, then Google is going to hate you. But then mark your visibility. There's one big thing that I'm going to have to let you go because it's 8 o'clock. There's one big thing that everyone needs to know. You should make sure that you mark your videos not for children. As much as it might seem like that's the opposite of what you would want to do, unless your videos are explicitly for children, you want to mark them as not for children, because it actually makes it so that fewer people see your video. When your video is marked for children, they throttle your content. But when you're marked for not for children, everybody can discover it because they just use your transcript to determine who should be seeing your video. So make sure you don't mark it for children, because it's the opposite of what you would expect. It doesn't make your audience bigger, it makes it smaller. Okay. Okay, that was a ton of information. I think that's it. Publish and share. That's literally the last thing. Make sure that you are sharing your own content. If you're expecting YouTube to do all the heavy lifting, you're doing it wrong. Please share your content with your family, share it with your friends, share it with your audiences on other platforms, because why not? Like it doesn't make any sense to have your YouTube channel and then you're not sharing that content anywhere. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to make sure I got my thing. That is all I have for you today. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Share it on your own TikTok. Share it everywhere. Okay. I think that's it.
Thank you very much, Lindsay Sims McGee, for an awesome presentation. I want to remind everybody that you will receive in a few days, probably early next week, we have a contractor who takes the video and puts it on YouTube. So get a link and you will get a copy of all of the slides. So again, thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, everyone, for participating. All 108 of you who came from all over the US and all the ships at sea and even from other countries. So you have truly gone global, Lindsay.
It's great.
And with that, I'm going to shut down the session and thank everybody and have a good evening. Bye bye.